We'll call to order the Board of Zoning and Appeals. Would you please stand for the pledge? Gary, would you lead us in the pledge, please? Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you. Call a roll, please.
Gary Farley.
Here.
Veronica Buchanan.
Here.
Jerry Sartain.
Here.
Joe Michoto.
Here.
Michael Rather.
Here.
Jared Barrett. Zane Cantrell.
Present. You have the minutes of our last meeting in hand. Are there any corrections or additions to the minutes?
Move to be approved, Mr. Chairman.
I have a motion to be approved. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, like sign. Minutes are approved. Let me welcome each of you here and give you a little bit of an idea of how we will proceed with this. With each item that comes before the BZA, we'll ask our staff to give us a report. We've already had a review of each item, so we have a pretty good idea of what's going on. Then we'll ask those of you who have requests to come to the podium here, give us your name and any additional information you'd like to share with the board. After that, we'll have a public hearing. We asked that you try to keep your comments within the 3-minute range, if at all possible. The first item we have before us is the request by Kevin Buck, who is requesting a special exemption approval for a seasonal attraction. What do you have on that, please?
Thank you. Application 2016-46 is a request for temporary special exception approval for a seasonal attraction on a property located in the RM zone, which is the medium density residential zoning district. It's a 9.23 acre parcel located at 3815 John Bragg Highway. And this site, along with an adjacent site zoned agricultural residential, has been operated as a haunted woods attraction during the month of October since 2010. And every year, the applicant returns and requests temporary special exception approval to operate the haunted woods from these two sites. However, in 2013, when we adopted the zoning ordinance and the the adjacent property was rezoned to agricultural residential, that eliminated the need for that particular parcel to come before you. However, the 9.23 acre parcel that we're considering tonight is still zone RM. And this site is used in conjunction with the adjacent site to operate the use, and the applicant is appearing before you to request the approval. We have not received any complaints in the past regarding the operation of the haunted woods at this site, and we have included some photos of the surrounding area. They have about 25 to 40 volunteers that work the proposed use during the month of October. They will open on Fridays and Saturdays during the month, as well as Halloween night. They will have signs in accordance with our signage regulations, temporary signage regulations installed. And the hours of operation will be 7 p.m. to 12 p.m. And as you can see, the entrance is on the adjacent property, as well as an exit to that off of the subject property. We've not received any phone calls since we posted the sign for this month's hearing, and that concludes our presentation.
Do we have anyone here representing this request? Just come around this way, that's fine.
My name is Kevin Ray Buck.
Have any additional information?
No, I mean, this year I'm only going to be open 8 nights. It's just a temporary for the month of October, like she said. I've been doing this since 2010. I've not had any problems out on John Bragg. The neighbors have been really nice. I'm just looking for the temporary October to make it commercial so I can actually use this piece for overflow parking and to make it easier to get on and off of John Bragg Highway.
What kind of turnout do you usually have for that?
It really depends. I mean, Friday nights are slower than Saturdays, but I've got anywhere from 200, 300. I mean, each year it's growing, of course, but hopefully this year I'll have a little bit more.
Any questions from the board? Thank you. We appreciate your comments. We'll open this for a public hearing for anyone who'd like to speak on this request. Close the public hearing. Do we have a motion on it?
I move to approve it.
Have a motion to be approved. Do we have a second? Have a second. Call a roll, please.
Gary Farley,
Yes.
Veronica Buchanan,
Yes.
Joe Machado,
Yes.
Jerry Sartain,
Yes.
Zane Cantrell,
Yes, it is approved. The next item we have is a request by Herbert Basket, and this is a special exemption approval for a major home-based business. What do you have on that, please?
Thank you. Application 2016-47 is a special exception approval requesting special exception approval for the establishment of a major home-based business involving automotive repair upon the property located in the RM zone. This property is located at 1234 Veterans Parkway. It's a 1.8 acre parcel with a single-family home with detached accessory structures developed upon it. In 2005, Mr. Basket received a Type 3 conditional use permit approval to operate this same proposed use from his home, and that was established, and he operated it for a couple of years and has terminated the use. And it was terminated for a period of time long enough for us to pass the new zoning ordinance and the new regulations take place. And he approached staff this year and asked if he could reestablish his business upon the site, and it was determined that since the use had not been in existence for several years, he would need to apply for approval. And this was the actual case that was the catalyst for our recent zoning change that added automotive repair as a potential major home-based business. It was previously on the list of prohibited uses, but it was determined by the Planning Commission and Board of Commissioners that under certain circumstances, this type of use would be could be appropriate for a particular parcel. So the applicant would like to operate from one of the existing detached accessory structures, the garage that was used before in the operations before. And as you see in the staff report, there's a description of the days of operation and times. He would like to repair 3 to 5 cars per day, and at times there may be 2 cars stored overnight for those types of repairs that would require more time than just a day. We included in the staff report, but it's towards the back of your packet, the original order of action that included the conditions that he was subject to. However, he is allowed, if he were to be approved tonight, a 5 square foot sign attached to the structure that is housing the proposed business. So these are photos of the surrounding site. We did receive an inquiry as to the proposed activities, but no one indicated any opposition to the proposed request. And this is a concept plan. This is the applicant's existing residence, and the structure in the back is the garage that the work will be performed in. And that concludes our presentation.
Do we have anyone here representing this request? If you'll come around, please.
Hey, I'm Wayne Basket, or Hubert Wayne Basket, and I've been working on Hondas and Acuras for 27 years. I recently worked for the dealer, and I just decided that I really wanted to come back home and work in Murfreesboro because I was working in Franklin. And when my 2.5 years of having the business prior to, I don't think I ever had any complaints with anybody. I don't think there's anything on record thereof. I do not have cars up on jack stands. I don't have cars with no wheels. Looks like abandoned vehicles. There is a time when, like you talked about, overnight stays on some parts. Sometimes they're a little bit longer than that. I will work with anything anybody has a problem with. But for the most part, I don't like the look of a salvage yard facility at all. And I have a full facility there, a garage that'll house 3 cars inside of it that's not even visible to the general public. And all of my chemicals are put in a 275-gallon tank out back that Universal Refining comes and pumps out for me. So I try to be compliant with all of the EPA laws and such, that I know about. And I just would really appreciate you guys considering this. And on behalf of me, I love the idea. I got a 5-lane road, and I think it's going to build up a lot more business, with the new Veterans Parkway from Kimbrough Road.
You'll have approximately 2 automobiles at one time in there. Is that customers at a time?
Well, two that might have to be overnight. I'm going to. It was originally, I think it was like 2 or 3, and you just really, by having to bring a car in and look at it and then order a part for it and wait for the part to get there, even that day, you can get another car. And so, it'd be 5, but at the max a day, but I really don't know if it'd even be that high, to be honest with you.
Okay, thank you. Joe?
Do you live here on the residence? Do
Yes,
you
sir.
reside there?
Yes, sir.
Gary?
I don't have a question. I've got a comment. Back when this first came about, I was county commissioner in this area at that time, and I actually helped Wayne get this in place, and he is correct. We never had a complaint whatsoever while he was doing it, and I have the utmost confidence in Wayne that he will create the same business he had before and will do an excellent job, and so I'm supporting him on it.
I noticed that in one of those pictures, there was a lot of vehicles there. I recently had to have my AC the AC in the house replaced, and the septic system walls caved in about the same time. So I think that picture was done with all the cars there. That's what it looked like to me. So it's not like that all the time. It's not like, oh my gosh, where did all those cars come from?
Any other questions? Thank you, sir. You may be seated.
Thank
Did
you.
a good job. We appreciate that. We'll open this for a public hearing for anyone who'd like to speak on this request. If you'll come around. Go ahead.
My name is Nancy Pricer. I live at 1225 Veterans Parkway, which is across the street from Mr. Baskett's house. And he's been a great neighbor, and we have no problems with his business expanding.
So
Thank
you
you.
recommend it highly then?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Any other comments? We'll close the public hearing. We have a motion on it. Gary?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion we approve the request.
Have a motion to be made.
Second.
Have a second. Call the roll, please.
Gary Farley,
Yes.
Veronica Buchanan.
Yes.
Joe Machado,
Yes.
Jerry Sartain,
Yes.
Zane Cantrell.
Yes.
Motion
It is
approved.
approved. Thank you. Good luck. The next item we have is a request by Thomas Hyde, who's requesting a special exception for approval on a single-wide residential trailer. What do you have on that, please?
Thank you. Application 2016-48 involves the property at 1605 Mount Herman Road. It's a request for special exception approval for the placement of a single-wide residence on a tract less than 5 acres, and the property is located in the RM zone. The site is 1.25 acres, and it is currently vacant. There used to be a single-family home located on the property. However, it has been recently demolished because it was uninhabited. And the applicant would like to place a single-wide on this property in order to use it as a rental property. In 2003, the owner of the property, probably not the current owner, but appeared before the Board of Zoning Appeals requesting conditional use approval to allow a second home on the property, and that second home would be a single wide. That was approved. However, the single wide was never established upon the property. Though that's irrelevant now because this is, a vacant parcel and now subject to the new zoning ordinance that was adopted in 2013. They are seeking the allowance to place the home on the property, and it does not measure 5 acres. The surrounding land uses include an automotive salvage yard, other residential uses, which include mobile homes up and down Mount Herman Road, as well as agricultural uses. We have not received any phone calls regarding this particular use. These are the photos of the site and the surrounding area. You can see the adjacent industrial use. And the applicant proposes to place the home and have the driveway located off Mount Herman Road, and they've shown the field lines. So that's not a structure, those are the field lines for the septic tank. And that concludes our presentation.
Do we have anyone here representing this? If you'll come around, please. Go ahead.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman. Thanks, everyone, for coming up here.
Introduce
spending your
yourself,
time.
please.
I'm sorry. I'm Frank Caperton, 1411 Van Cleve Lane. The property owner could not be here today, and we bought this lot about a year ago. I say we. He bought this lot about a year ago, and he wants to put a single-wide trailer, either 12 by 70 or 14 by 70, and rent it out.
Any questions? Got good neighbors out there across the road?
Well, I still call it Pelham's Scrapyard. It's been that long, so.
No.
Is it rental property?
Yes, sir, sure will.
Any other questions? Thank you. You may be seated.
Thank you.
We'll open this for a public hearing for anyone who'd like to speak on this request. Close the public hearing. Do we have a motion on it?
Motion to approve the request.
Have a motion to be approved. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Call the roll, please.
Gary Farley,
Yes.
Veronica Buchanan.
Yes.
Joe Machoto,
Yes.
Jerry Sartain,
Yes.
Zane Cantrell.
Yes, it is approved. Thank you for a good meeting today. We are adjourned.